In the 3rd century AD, two young noblemen, a noble nursing mother and a pregnant servant, and also 4 other people died because of gospel in Carthage, North Africa. If you don't know, this part of our ongoing series titled The Martyrs. But in our last episode, we talked about Polycarp of Smyrna, who was the servant of Apostle John. The link in the description below. Perpetua lived in the early 3rd century during the reign of Roman Emperor Septimius Severus. At that time, Christians in North Africa faced intense persecution. The Roman province of Africa, with its capital in Carthage, was a deep committed to Rome gods and emperor worship. Christians were seen as dangerous because they refused to bow to Roman gods. Perpetua was a well-educated, recently married noblewoman. She was about 22 years old. She was a nursing mother with an infant son. According to early Christian documents called the Passion of Saint Perpetua and Felicity, a group of Christians were arrested. This includes Perpetua, a young noblewoman, Felicity, a pregnant slave woman, two free men named Saturninus and Secundulus, and an enslaved man named Ruvacotus. They were catechumen men, meaning they were being instructed in Christian faith, but had not yet been baptized. Later, a sixth man named Santorus voluntarily went before the authority and declared himself a Christian so that he could suffer with them. This decision alone show how serious early Christian faith was. Perpetua's story is especially powerful because part of it was written by Perpetua herself. She kept a first-person document account while waiting to die. This makes it one of the earliest Christian prison diaries in history. In prison, Perpetua described brutal physical and emotional suffering. This prison was hot, the guards were rough, the air was thick, the chains were heavy. Under her greatest torment was being separated from her baby. Her body was still producing milk. She wrote about the painful pressure in her breast and the cycle of pain and relief. Later, she was about to bribe the guard. She and the other were moved to a better area. A baby was brought to her. She was able to breastfeed her and physical pain were eased. But her emotional battle was far from over. Perpetua's father came to prison, who was not a Christian. He begged her to deny Christ. He cried. He pleaded with her to think about her baby. He told her to save her life, but Perpetua refused. She told him she could not only call herself any other thing than what she was, a Christian. Her loyalty to Christian was stronger than her love for comfort. It even tore her family apart. While in prison, Perpetua recorded a powerful vision encouraged by her brother. She asked God for a vision. She saw a tall ladder covered with a sharp weapon, and at the bottom of that ladder was a serpent. In the vision, Santoros climbed first, then Perpetua followed. The serpent did not harm her. She then climbed to the top and entered a beautiful garden. When she woke up, she understood suffering was coming, but victory was beyond. In another vision, the night before her execution, Perpetua saw herself fighting a savage Egyptian. She defeated him. She understood this means a real battle was not just with wild animal, a real battle was with the devil himself. To Perpetua, battle was not just a punishment, it was a spiritual warfare. Felicity's story had more weight. Felicity was a slave woman. She was pregnant in prison. Under Roman law, a pregnant woman could not be executed. So Felicity feared being left behind while others died. She prayed to give birth early. Her prayers were answered. She went into labor in prison. She gave birth to a baby girl. The baby was taken and raised by a Christian woman. Now Felicity was free to die with the others. Even a Roman guide mocked and asked, if you suffer this much now, what will you do when you face the wild beast? Felicity replied, now I suffer what I suffer, but then another will suffer in me, because I will suffer for him. That is not weak faith. That is dangerous faith. That is faith that shakes empire. The group was sentenced to die in the arena. Their execution was part of military games held to celebrate the birth of Emperor Septimius Severus. They were sent to the amphitheater in Carthage, where they were exposed to wild animals. This was public entertainment. The crowd watched, the empire celebrated, but heaven watched too. According to the account, Perpetua Felicity and others encouraged each other. They stood together, one noble, one slave, one free, one own. But in Christ they were equal. They faced death by side. They were eventually killed. seal their testimony with blood. The Passion of Saint Perpetua and Felicity is one of the most important martyrdom documents in church history. It's studied by historians, theologians, and scholars. It shows us the real cost of early Christianity, not comfort, not popularity. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to subscribe for our next episode that is coming. Thank you.